is expected to go in for an IPO in the near future. And what is the aim of this IPO and what will be achieved through this IPO? Broadly, how this IPO will help you in your go-to-market strategy in India?
So fundamentally, the answer is yes. We plan to go public. I would say in the next 12 to 15 months, we'll go public. If I just step back, over the last 3 to 4 years, we've built a good business model. We've turned profitable now. We now believe we need primary capital to expand our network rapidly. So, it's basically to fund our expansion. Since we have a profitable model now, expanding makes sense. So that's the role of the IPO. It is, I would think that we want to expand at least in the next 12-15 months. We want to add about 150 stores. All right. So that is the primary need for capital.
So, have you been inspired by other IPOs or any other ones in the retail segment, or what has been your?
I mean, there have been retail in India, modern trade retail in India is still, I would say, very nascent, right, compared to the West or parts of Southeast Asia. So IPOs in India in retail have been very few, right? If you think of it, DMart went public about a decade ago. The A part of food service and retail, which is Zomato, went public about 2 years ago. We've seen a couple of other retailers. Nykaa went public. Recently, Vishal Mega Mart went public. So there have been good and successful public offerings, but I would say retail IPOs in India are still new, and I think we have ample opportunity to tap the capital market over the next decade. So you'll see far more IPOs, I think.
You have a hybrid business model with both online and physical stores. How does both the models fare and which is getting more traction and why? Is the trend same for both urban and tier 2 and tier 3 cities? Do people in smaller towns prefer more physical stores than online shopping? Anything?
So let me answer this in three ways. A, I think we have a hybrid business model, which allows us to serve the consumer in the way that she prefers to shop, right? So we are a neighborhood store. So generally, we are about 10 minutes walking distance from our shopper, right? So the fact that she can come into our stores, partake a large selection of product, good pricing. So that's one way. The other is we are in partnership. Amazon is our shareholder, and Amazon Fresh. We are the fulfillment partner for Amazon Fresh. So if you went onto the app and ordered, Amazon offers a 2-hour slotted delivery, right? So you can get it. So the hybrid model for me is a business model. The shopper may or may not be hybrid. The shopper may be offline, the shopper may be online or hybrid, but we build a business model. So, what that does is it allows us to use the same store for offline and online business. So, it's economically very progressive. Consumers in urban cities or large metro cities are far more online today than they were 5 years ago. I also think the pandemic accelerated that phenomenon, right? But it is no more a metro phenomenon. It is, down to tier 2, tier 3 also, smaller. So we are prepared because we are probably we have a hybrid model. So we serve online even in small towns today, right? So if you go to small towns of Karnataka, the fact that Amazon Fresh is available in those towns is because it comes through us. So we've built that business model. It's taken us 3-4 years to build it. It's a deep technology integration with Amazon, and also the ability to run a store in a hybrid fashion.
What kind of level of competition you face from quick commerce segment? Is it eating up on your business, or you also plan to venture into it gradually? Can you give an overview on the quick commerce segment in India, some trends, and is it really a threat to the conventional retail segment?
I think of quick commerce as one metric in a consumer's request. So consumers tend to want good pricing, consumers tend to want large selection, and consumers tend to want convenience, right? I think quick commerce is a metric of convenience, which is you order and you get it in 15 minutes or 10 minutes or 30 minutes, depending on that. But that's only one factor, right? Uh, Now, we definitely believe online commerce is important, right? We currently do 2 hour commerce. Despite not doing 10-minute commerce, we are growing as fast as them, right? In the largest of cities, our growths match the quick commerce players. So I don't think it's eating into our business, right? Is it eating into traditional trade? Possibly, yes. I mean, I don't have facts, right? But I suspect, the pie is not growing as fast as quick commerce, so they must be eating into traditional trade.
What are the recent trends in the Indian retail segment and how does it fare when one compares urban versus the rural demand? Which among the both are showing increase in demand and consumption?
When you say recent, if you take the past 2 quarters, I think people say demand is slow, right? Both urban and rural. We are not feeling it. We are now growing. Our last quarter growth is nearly 30%. So we are not feeling a shortage of demand or a shortage of consumer traction. Uh, but I think the wrong way to look at retail in India is 1 quarter or 2 quarters. Because if you see, as a country, retail, our population is very, the ability to grow business in India is very high, right? So maybe there'll be a couple of tough quarters, but longer term, I think India is a very good growth story. Second is, most importantly, organized trade in India is still very small, right? Organized trade, last number is 15-16% of total. So the ability of organized trade to grow in India, I think for the next 10-15 years, right, is very high. And so we don't see a problem in demand. We don't see a problem in demand.
How does the Indian retail and FMCG market compares with developed markets such as the US and Europe? How different it is from these markets?
So I would say there are highly developed markets. Australia is one, the US is one, UK is another, where modern trade now is probably upwards of 90%, right? 90% is organized trade, right? Then I would say there is the middle road markets, Southeast Asia, Thailand, Malaysia, right? China, right? Korea, where modern trade is upwards of 55-60%, right? There's another rung of what I call emerging markets like Philippines, right, where modern trade is now 35-40%. India is at the bottom of that in terms of modern trade evolution. We are at 15-17%. So I think the tipping point in India is now come, where I think modern trade is now, organized trade is growing at upwards of 35%. So we would see, I think in another 10 years' time, modern trade in India will be close to 40%, right, from a current 15-16%. So this is evolving, and it evolves with time, it evolves with GDP, right? If you see markets close to India, Philippines is far ahead, Malaysia is far ahead. So I think it's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time, right? I think e-commerce accelerates it, but between e-commerce and modern trade, I think there's ample opportunity.